Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the earnings for Zoom, ticker symbol ZM. Zoom is one of those stocks that during the lockdown he did magnificently well. I actually made some money on Zoom. I made a lot of money on Zoom anyway. But then Zoom, I'm in red in Zoom. Zoom has been abysmal the last 1 year. I think the 52 weeks low is about $70 or so. But lately, it just declared its earnings and it beat earnings and revenue. So I just think that this might be whether we have bottom on Zoom, I'm not sure, but this might just be a good time to actually review Zoom and look at it again for your portfolio in case you need it. But Zoom is one of those lockdown stocks. Zoom beat its first quarter earnings, and the revenue is 1.07 billion. The estimate was actually 1.07 billion, so it's exactly as the expectation. But the EPS, it's $1.03, while the expectation was 0.86 cents. So it beat the EPS. But then Zoom, of recent, as I said earlier, he has not done really well. Whether Zoom has been able to diversify its business, or if he's able to diversify its business and not just about Zooming conference alone. And but this is there's a lot of competitor within the space. There's Microsoft Teams, there's Google Space, or stuff like that. But Zoom still remain one of the favorite when it comes to conference, teleconference, and over the internet communication. But then it is what it is. Let's have a look at the earnings detail, the transcript. Let's have a look at the technical chart to see what we can get from price action, if there's anything we don't see on a financial declaration. Let's have a look at it. Here is the summary for Zoom earnings Zoom earnings. Let me say, as at time of recording, the transcript is not yet out because it was released last night. Anyway, this is a summary from Yahoo Finance. As you can see, the video conferencing giant Zoom reported quarterly earnings on Monday, beating analyst expectation and revising its full-year guidance. Shares of the company sold as high as 18% in after-hours trading after getting pounded this year. As I said, Zoom has been abysmal this year. Here are the most important numbers from the report compared to what analysts were expecting in the quarter as compiled by Bloomberg. Revenue is 1.07 billion versus the expectation was 1.07 billion. The adjusted EPS is $1.03 versus what was expected is 0.87 cents. Customer paying more than 100K in the last 12 months, 2,916 versus 2,958. That's slightly down. Here is Zoom revised its full year adjusted earnings per share to between $3.70 and $3.77 from $3.45 to $3.51. Zoom also reported that it now has approximately 198,900 enterprise customers, up 24% year over year. Shares of Zoom were up more than 18% after the report. Zoom was a stay-at-home darling during the onset of the pandemic. Revenue growth exploiting quarter over quarter as business, schools, and government took to remote video chat to keep employees, students, and constituents connected. That's why I said it earlier. I made a lot of money during the lockdown, when everyone was relying on Zoom. In June 2019, the company reported first quarter revenue of 122 million, a year-over-year jump of 103%. By June 2020, the first quarter revenue was 169%, and by March 2021, Q4 revenue was 369%. But that incredibly growth has cooled significantly. Of course, we're no longer in lockdown again. In June 2021, the company reported Q1 growth of 191 year over year, with revenue totaling to 956 million. In Q2, growth fell to 54%, then to 35% in Q3, and to 21% in Q4. Revenue, however, reached 1.07 billion. Zoom stock price has followed the slowdown, falling from a high of 691.69 a share on November 17, 2021 to $89 at the opening of market in New York Monday. Look at it. This is what you need to see on Zoom. It's up and down. I have Zoom in my portfolio, as I said, and I can tell you I am deeply in red on Zoom. I have tried to average down, but not averaging down again because it keeps going further down. Zoom has been expanding its offering into new categories beyond video chat, including a customer contact center business that rolls video, voice, SMS, and chat into single platform. But Piper Sandler senior research analyst James Fish says that not going to push the company too much anytime soon. There isn't a whole lot of excitement at this point. Fish told Yahoo Finance Contact Center could be that exciting, but when you look at contact center market, that can take a year or so for some of those deals to work their way through the pipeline. Here is the technical chart for Zoom. As you can see, let's start with this. Zoom actually closed at $89.33 last night, which is the 23rd of May. This is after hours and pre-market. Pre-market is already 94. I mean, you see, $94.89, meaning that because of the earnings, it's already going up, and the price is going up pre-market before the market will open. But then Zoom, uh, that the beat is any, it's not a big deal. Zoom has actually lost so much. Let's start with drawing some um, uh, trend line that we can see here. We can see that Zoom is just trending down. There's nothing else to it. It's very obvious. Um, Zoom has been trending down for a while now. Zoom is trading below 20-day moving average and 50-day moving average. This is weekly chart. This is weekly chart. Let's check what it has dropped from recent from the 52 weeks high, which is the 588 to date. Zoom has dropped 84.5%. This is huge. Excuse me. That's huge. Let's go on a daily chart to see what Zoom is doing on a daily chart. It is crystal clear. Zoom is trending down. Even on a daily chart, it is. You don't need a soothsayer to tell you that. As you can see, it is just trending down. You don't need a soothsayer to say this at all. This Zoom is trending down and is trading below 20-day moving average. Let's go back on a weekly chart. Weekly chart is more um, apparent and visible. But as you can see, there's nothing more to Zoom. It beat its earning, but then it's still trending down. Zoom is what you might actually be thinking that it's a falling knife, except Zoom can go up and at least beat, cross over this trend line that's around 133 or 1 something. Otherwise, I'm not suggesting a crystal buy on a Zoom. If you're buying Zoom now, you might just be, buying a stock that is more or less a falling knife. Seen the transcript for the Zoom earnings, and you've seen the technical chart. Zoom is still trending down, even though it beats its earnings and revenue. Guys, do not just look at videos on YouTube and because they say Zoom is this and that. Do your analysis. Make sure you do a good valuation. Make sure you have good metrics. There are a lot of metrics you can use. Look at Guru Focus. There are a lot of valuation method you can use. Don't just buy stock without checking if it's proper for your portfolio. Thank you for watching this channel. Thank you for subscribing. We continue to produce content that will support your investment journey. Please call again.